family. It seems like it's been forever since I've been on here. I've been pretty busy and productive. It seems like ever since I got back in town, y'all. Like I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff that done came up. But we here and we focus and we active. That's all that matter. My day actually just came to an end. I done already pulled up at the crib. I'm just kind of sitting outside right now from my house. But it's supposed to be like some big snowstorm thing. Well, I don't know if about big snowstorm, but it's the road's supposed to get a little messy. I still ain't really checked heavily off into the weather, but I know it's supposed to snow from like where I'm at, like 5 p.m. into I don't know how late, but it didn't already started. So, but I'm guessing like around 5 p.m. it's supposed to start coming down like real heavy. Right now it's like 4:30, but it's getting kind of slippery out here though. But yeah, what's going on with y'all? This coat I got on right now, this is actually one of my favorite coats. And a good thing about it didn't even cost much. It was inexpensive, but it's pretty warm. It's like a big hoodie, but it's a coat. It's like getting a big ass hug, y'all. It's a really, really good warm coat. Got it at a discount price too. But yeah, what's up with y'all? How y'all been? It seemed like forever since I've been on here. But I just been staying focused, y'all. Like I say, I've been having stuff come up, so I've been having to get to it and yeah, just staying on top of the grind. Raphael, what up though? What's going on? So you chilling, huh? Yeah, man. I was just saying on the live, at the beginning of the live, this snow coming down here. It ain't really coming down now. It seems like it's slowed up, but I think they said it's really supposed to start coming down like in about 30 more minutes. I think they said about 5 p.m. I just knew my day was gonna be coming to an end like around about an hour ago. So I knew I was gonna be off the road. Like I said, I pulled up at my crib and everything. So I knew I was gonna be off the road before it really started getting crazy. People still driving about 40 miles an hour. So y'all know it ain't crazy, but it's getting there. I'm sure the next hour, 2 hours is gonna be looking crazy out here. Thanks again for the yeah, and Raphael, if you really wanna top that, burning fat off, you wanna make sure I walk for 30 minutes at least. You probably already do it with the dog, depending on if you walk like 15 minutes going and then 15 minutes to get back to the house, that'll be your 30 minutes. But the 30 minutes walking to burn the glucose up out your bloodstream. And then anytime after the 30 minutes, you'll be burning straight fat. So if you just want to add the little added benefits to that, all you got to do is walk about, I say 2 to 3 times a week with you already being active and working out. All you got to do is do it for 30 minutes. If you already started tightening up your nutrition, you will see some huge results, man. You will definitely get to where you want to get to. Yep, that'll definitely tighten you up. Because a lot of the people that's out here going heavy with their workouts and stuff like that, the best way that they stay lean, not just being active and working out, but that walking alone, that walking, man, that help keep them lean. Like, so not only do they have a decent shape or size on them, but that 30-minute just walking, whether they walking a dog, whether they at a park, whether they do a 30-minute run, but the walking to do, you ain't even got to run. It'll burn that extra sugar in your bloodstream up. You know what I'm saying? Get that glucose out of there. That way your body can switch to running off fat quicker. But yeah, yep. That's what really lean me out. That's what keep me like, so even if I go past certain limits and stuff like that, that 30-minute, that'll do it. And if you want to tap into the fat burning mode, then you got to go 31 plus minutes. So 45 minutes, 40 minutes, hour, anything after the 30 minutes is going to be straight fat being burned. So Yep. All you have to do is just make sure you getting your macros in. And if you don't want to keep up with it like that, which is a pound of protein per 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, um, zero point 0.5 grams of fat per body weight. So pretty much half your body weight in fat. Um, and then as far as the carbs, I say always just enough to make your plate complete. Whether it's a cup of carbs a day or a cup and a half, depending on how busy you are, you'll know it once you look at the plate and know what's what. If you don't want to keep up with it, because calculating it all the time, it's cool for people that's like who can't figure it out and they really trying to get there. But eventually, once you get your measurements and you definitely start tapping into your whole foods, the whole point of taking the measurements and keeping up with the calories and all that is so you'd have an idea of what you eating every time you grab it. Nobody wants to calculate food every single time. The people who show that, a lot of them, they eat some of the same stuff, so they already know what they plating up. But every time you eat something, no, as long as you eating whole foods, you really ain't gonna have to calculate it because it's gonna go where it's supposed to go at. You ain't gonna have all the added sugar and all that excessive processed stuff going on. So it's gonna go wherever it need to go. Whether you gaining weight, it's gonna be going towards the muscle, or you losing, it's still gonna be going towards muscle. You know what I'm saying? So you will be good to go. Just the processed stuff, that stuff goes straight to your belly, and it just, you get fat overall all around your body, your whole body. So that's what I say. Focus in on the process. I mean, focus in on the whole foods and pull back as much as you can from the process. So pretty much, I say rotisserie chicken because that's a no-brainer. Whether you buy it, you can. I mean, most of the time you will be buying it. So rotisserie chicken, and then as far as buying, it would be ground turkey. You can do some ground beef. You can do 70-30. Chuck is cool because it still got a leanness to it with flavor. Um, Pretty much, you want to be cooking. What you focus in on, you pretty much want to be cooking most of your foods because you will be able to control the ingredients. You know what I'm saying? You can go crazy with the seasonings as long as the seasoning that you're going crazy with, it don't have table salt. So you go crazy with the seasoning and then you just add in your sea salt. You know what I'm saying? Or kosher salt. You know what I'm saying? That'll be you adding in the salt. Instead of you buying the seasonings like Laurie's, like we grew up with Laurie seasonings. So that, I mean, you go crazy with that if you want. You're going to be up there as far as sodium and all that type stuff. But if you going with your regular seasons, that ain't nothing but herbs. And then you just add in salt to taste. You know what I'm saying? With the seasons that got salt already in it, you can't really salt to taste it because whatever you pouring, you're getting just the amount of salt included in that. But that's how I would do it, and that'll get you there. I'm talking about you'll start seeing results like sooner than you think. You know what I'm saying? Because your body gonna be running off of fat. Once you get that glucose up out you and you pull back from that added sugar, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. And then whatever you is doing that could be better, that 30-minute walk 2 to 3 times a week will keep you right. Will get you tight and keep you right. And then once you get your foods and you see pretty much what's doing what, because you'll see the scale, the clothes ain't gonna lie, it's gonna show you pretty much, the shirt getting tighter as in you getting bigger, or the shirt getting, or pants getting looser. So even before you check the scale, it's gonna be showing you something. But yeah, both the scale and the clothes is gonna tell you a lot. So all you really gotta do is just make sure your meals is very flavorful and very good, but whole foods, close to whole foods as possible. If I was you, Raphael, I wouldn't even tap off into nothing that I really shouldn't be eating until I start seeing some fat or like us or the stomach go down. Then you can kind of tap into it as a reward just for taste, just so you can get a little something to keep going a long way. You know what I'm saying? Versus just say you pulling back now and you ain't started seeing results because you just started pulling back maybe this week or yesterday or whatever. And then you're doing good for 2, 3 days, but you ain't really saw nothing in 2, 3 days. I wouldn't go in with something that ain't necessarily good for me, ain't benefiting my fat loss. I will wait till I at least see some. All right, I lost 2 pounds. All right, let me tap this just a little something for taste, a reward. But now I'm about to go harder and then probably even a little bit longer before I reward myself again because I'm trying to keep going. That's how I would do it. Because once you start seeing some results, it's gonna be more motivating for you to go further and longer with treating yourself. That's how I would do it if it was me. That way you definitely know you locked in. You mix that with 2, 3 days of 30-minute walking and you busy at work and you got that 8-hour window of eating, your body will be running off fat while you sleep, which all of our body naturally fast and run off fat when we sleep. But then outside of the window of you not eating, you'll burn that glucose up and then eventually you'll switch off into fat burning mode. So that's why I say eat in that window, but you don't want to eat nothing outside of that window. Whether it's a 4-hour window and you done for the rest of the day until that next day, or 8-hour window, you eat 2 or 3 meals and you done once that 8 hour is up and you don't eat nothing. I'm talking about not even a peppermint because that's gonna have sugar. It's gonna spike you. Now you back to running off sugar. You gotta burn that glucose off before it get back into fat. Who knows? It might take 4 hours, 6 hours, half a day, the next day. I don't know. Depending on how you moving around to burn it up. But like I say, I pick that window and I wouldn't eat absolutely nothing outside of it. Whatever you gonna eat, I make sure it's in that window. That way we getting it out the way. That way our body can break everything down. It can process stuff quicker. Outside of our window, just say if you want an 8-hour window, it's processing, resting, breaking down your cells, repairing everything outside of that window. Because most of us be eating all throughout the day, man. Like especially the average person out here who don't work out and ain't even thinking about it. Like we grew up, all of us pretty much grew up on just eating. We want chips now. We want chips later. We want a burger. We want even some healthy food, grilled chicken salad. Like we just was raised to eat every day, all day, whenever we wanted. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff was messing our digestive system up because it never had a chance to rest, only when we was asleep. And really, it probably wasn't really resting like it was supposed to when we sleep because most of us, especially still to this day, the ones who don't work out, eat right before bed. Eat right before bed. So they ain't eating healthy. They eating whatever they eating, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, whatever, KFC, and they in the bed like an hour or two. So they sleeping with all that grease. They ain't worked it off. The calories is dead calories. So it's never too late to tighten up our nutrition. This is the best as I ever had my nutrition the way it is now. It took years and years to build up to this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that fat'll come off faster than you think, man. Cause you gotta think, if you ever tried it and it wasn't working, all it was more than likely you wasn't consistent in being on point with it. Meaning, oh, all right, I ain't eating this. Let me pull back from this. Let me eat more of this. Drink more of this water. You know what I'm saying? And lock and load. More than likely, whatever consistency you probably thought you had, you might have been rewarding yourself too much. You know what I'm saying? You might have only been doing 50% good, 50% bad. You know what I'm saying? Which is too high. That's too much of, 50% good is almost as leaning towards, almost 100% bad almost. It's better than 100% bad, but that's a high amount. That's why I always say the 70-30. I'll stick to usually 80-20, but I try not to go to 70-30. Usually I'm out of town, but I'm walking around when I'm doing that because I got to try different culture food and stuff. So I might be rewarding myself, but I'm walking around to burn that 10% extra off. So it's still putting me at like 80-20. So, but yeah, So that's all it is. So if you tried, it seemed like nothing wasn't working. You got to lock and load this time around like never before. And all it was you just wasn't all the way locked in whenever you was trying it some other time. You wasn't, and you probably more likely wasn't prepared. Meaning like your meal prepping wasn't on point. That meal prep is a game changer. So if you ain't meal prep, you usually wind up getting something that's easy accessible. You, especially people who get off work. Like don't nobody want to cook when they get off work. So Little Caesars, Coney Island. A lot of people order pizzas. It's just one of the world's favorite. Um, but you know what I'm saying. Like if you don't be prepared, you're gonna be reaching for some stuff that's gonna be not necessarily good for you. And that's just how it is. I've done it in the past. I've done it in the past. But the thing that was getting, you know, that was getting me was even when I was reaching for that, and I ain't have a consistent pattern. And if I did start getting a consistent pattern, I'll pull back. The thing that was keeping me locked in, even when I was reaching for that stuff, was I was already in top notch shape. I was already in shape, so I knew a day or two wasn't gonna be hurting me, but it still was doing something internally that I didn't want it to do. So externally, no, ain't nothing. Nobody about to get fat in a day or two. Nobody's about to get skinny in a day or two. But we just get through my bad. We just got to be locked in and and focus. Focus. The more you want it, the more work you're gonna put in on it. And then once you get used to that, you will really, really, really appreciate when it's time for you to reward yourself. You might have a taste for some fried ice cream. You're like, you know what? Dang, I ain't been eating nothing like that. And my food choice has been good to where it almost feel like I'm cheating because it's so good. I get all my protein, my carbs, my fats. Um, and you just like, well, shoot, it's time. Cause nobody wants to be eating like a rabbit, and nobody wants to be out here feeling as if they ain't human. You see a piece of cake, oh, of course, most of us want it when we want it, but you gotta have enough discipline in you to say no. That way, when it's time to say yes, you don't feel absolutely nothing bad about eating it. You don't work, you don't burnt off calories, you getting your gain. You are, yeah, my bad. I don't know why that number just kept calling me. I pressed end call the first time, but missing out on their gains is from them not being it's from them not meal prepping. Yep, that's what it's from. Them not meal prepping. So I'll just look it up here at this timer, making sure this clock will still move. Black beans. I do bananas. Um, I love my peanut butter. I do the yogurt. That's like my average meal right there. And then I have my avocado, my fat. You know what I'm saying? That's my average meal, because that meal right there, feel like I'm cheating. It's just real good. Flavor, full of flavor. I put a little hot sauce on the avocado. I don't even got to put nothing else. I used to kind of like put my garlic powder and then the pepper and maybe some chili powder. That's if I just feel like it. But since hot sauce got a overall flavor, I put a few dabs of that on there. Pop that avocado. Be good as I don't know what. Good as new. But yeah, just staying focused on Raphael. Discipline is the key, man. That's the key word. Just staying focused, man. And it's all about, that's why they always say, like, people that's off to nutrition or fitness coach, that's why they always say, like, make sure the meals that you eating are the best. Otherwise, you won't be able to stay locked and loaded. Our meals have to be not just all right, but I'm talking about good. Change some sauces up. As long as you're doing better, you good. Don't use as much sauce. Don't use as much barbecue sauce. If it's just regular barbecue sauce with added sugar, don't use that much. That way you kind of using like light barbecue sauce, because you're going light with the amounts. You know, just put enough on there just for your taste. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have a few days or certain days when you might put more ranch or more barbecue sauce. But I say at least make sure on them days you more active. That way it's balanced out. Anytime I'm overstepping my boundaries, it don't always happen when I'm more active, but most of the time that's what I steer for. That way it balances out to where even though I'm eating more of it that I shouldn't, I'm also moving more activity-wise. So it balances out. You don't want to be sitting down and sitting back, and you eating excessive stuff that's not good for you, especially back-to-back consistently. You don't want to do that. Bad stuff need to be mixed with you being active. That'll make it somewhat good, because you'll be able to burn a lot of it up before you get back to your house. So I always focus in on not sitting on bad meals, bad snacks. You know what I'm saying? Yep, that's what I focus in on. And I don't really drink nothing, no sweet drinks like juices and stuff like that. If I'm doing something like that, I'm usually out, out of town or something like that, and it's like maybe an alcohol beverage. But other than that, I don't get juices and great Kool-Aid, and that was when I was younger. We grew up on that type of stuff, but I don't mess with that stuff, man. But you stay focused with that, Raphael, you'll be good, man. Trust me. I'm looking at this snow coming down now and covering up the cars. Man, before you know it, you already know this stuff gonna be over with, man. And the only thing I'm saying, the reason why I'm mentioning that, you can have some good, decent gains. I'm talking about you can have some amazing gains before this snow season stuff even in, because we gonna at least have about another month. It ain't nothing but like the middle of February. Yeah, so we got the rest of this month, and then middle of March up until I say at least the middle of March, maybe even towards the end, well, we gonna see snow, flurries, you know what I'm saying? We might even go into, some part of April here to where it be some flurries or whatever. All I know is before the rain start coming heavy for the flowers to blossom for spring, you can have major results. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking about major results. You know what I'm saying? We talk about you done drop down pan size around the belly. Of course, you lose fat all the way around, but I'm just saying, like, you talk about you got to go shopping again type results. You just got to be locked and low. It's a simple process. It's just doing it ain't the easiest thing for the average person. But if the meals is right, I swear. And then you got to get what I would do, I would make sure, because it take time to get to this stuff. Just say if it was something that I still was having cravings for. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I got my go-to with my cravings. It's seeming like I can't space them out like I really want to. So I get my regular stuff, which I pretty much just said what I usually do. You know, I do beef, ground turkey, and I do a lot of mainly a lot of rotisserie chicken, right? The black beans and stuff like that, avocado or whatever, bananas. So when I'm getting stuff like that, now y'all know I'm in a market just like everybody else. Anytime, wherever area you standing in the market, you gonna see some stuff that you definitely shouldn't be looking at because you gonna want to eat it. Whether it's chips, whether it's something in a, I don't know, fish sticks, frozen fish sticks, or whatever, Gordon frozen fish. You might be turned this way and you look at donuts, and then they got a, like one of the markets I go to, they got the they got the little cook areas, so that's where I get the rotisserie chicken from. They got all this other stuff, man. Banana pudding, cakes, brownies, macaroni and cheese, sweet and tangy barbecue wings. I go straight for the rotisserie. Now I'd be lying if I'd be saying I don't see that stuff. I'd be like, man, I wouldn't be able to stop eating that. But it ain't good for me. But when my cravings is kind of there, because sometimes all of our cravings kind of get out of control to where we can't hold off. You gotta have your go-to to be able to hold off. Even if it's added sugar, you need to be able to pick your go-to for added sugar that's probably 3 to 4 times, maybe even 10 times less added sugar than what you thinking about grabbing. You thinking about grabbing those variety box of donuts, chocolate, nutty, and powder or something. Let me tell you, for example, like my go-to, and I just put this one together because one day I had to do it. I had to look at the ingredients and I had to compare about a month ago. My go-to right now, if I can't hold off, and this would be a good one for anybody, is the trail mix looking, I think it was the Carl's peanuts, right? But it was the ones with the M&Ms in it also. Something that I ain't trying to eat like that, but that's way less calories. So I looked at the ingredients list and everything. The protein, it had the protein, which was, I think, 4 grams. What is it, 4 grams a serving, or 7 grams or 8 grams total? It had more protein than any larger whatever I would have been grabbing to eat that would have been bad, whether it was donuts, chips, whatever. So it had some type of protein to it. The calorie intake, of course, it's a small pack. You know how those $1.19 or whatever them packs be. It was one of them packs. I think it was like $1.19. It had the peanuts, the raisins, and the M&Ms mix. And the calories was, I don't know, 230, or that's better than me buying something that's more than one serving, or that's one serving and the calories is 500 or something. So either way it go, the calories was like half of the worst what I would have been grabbing. The protein was as much or more, but in a smaller serving. And the added sugar was, of course, I don't even want to get into that, but I will. The added sugar, just saying what the average person would have grabbed, was probably, I don't know, 18, 32 grams of added sugar. And don't quote me on this, but it's the number is up there like that though. And what I grabbed, the added sugar was 4 grams. Yeah, give me that. 4 grams versus 28 or 32 or 38 grams. It's up there. It was, and I'm not exaggerating, it was up there like 30 grams or more. I say, yeah, I'm good on that. So I grabbed that and I felt good about it because it hit the sweet spot because it had the raisins in it. The peanuts had the saltiness, so it was like that. Actually, that's what it was called. The sweet and low. I mean, not sweet and low. I think that's for called the sweet and salty mix. I think that's what it was called. It was just the peanut. It was the little trail mix looking thing in a little small pack. It was just that one serving. It wasn't even a big kind for $3.99. It was just, I just needed something to curb my sugar crave, and it worked. I'm replacing salmon and baked chicken with that starting yesterday. Oh yeah, yeah. Gorgeous fish is my craving. Don't lie. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. As long as you yeah. Yeah, like any. I remember the Gordon things. Trust me, I think it was yellow box or something like yellow box or either blue box, something like that. But I just remember the shit was good as hell. But it was in the frozen area. You know what I'm saying? With the fish sticks and all the other stuff, you just throw them in the oven, you dip it in your tartar sauce, and do you batter. I just remember that. But yeah, that stuff would mess you up, man. It'll take you all off your gains too. You got to eat something like that, like when you straight up locked in and you got these gains and you just going hard because it ain't gonna do nothing to you physically if you just go in that one day out the week. You know what I'm saying? And then you might finish the box off. I don't know how many come in a box, but it might take you 3 weeks to hit a whole box as you getting like hitting like a third of it. No, don't forget I don't know how much come in there. You hitting a third of it, another 2/3, and then so you hitting it once a week instead of killing it all in one day. I remember times I was going through them things. Like that stuff was so good, but it's bad for you. Like, so you got to look at that stuff as like when you look down at your stomach area and your overall fat, once you start seeing some satisfaction with it, that means you done put in some work. Then I say, treat yourself. Put in more work. So pretty much, the more results you see, I would say treat yourself to something decent. Not the worst, but something that you shouldn't be having, but it's still giving you something. You want to get something. Lower calories, high, at least some type of protein out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get something. You don't want high calories, no protein. You just don't want it. And they got all this processed stuff. You want to get something. So like I say, when I was comparing the that sugar crave, I'm like, oh, I think it was like 7 grams, if I'm not mistaken, of protein from the peanuts or whatever. And then the sodium was low. It was decent. Yep, it was low because it was only one serving. The calories was low. I remember, I don't know, 230, 170. It was around 2. I'ma just say that. So that's my go-to if I'm fighting against the craving and can't really hold off. I already know what to grab, that. And I would eat that and not think nothing of it. But that ain't something I'm trying to be grabbing. Every second I just think about, I got a taste of something sweet. That's just if I can't hold off. Like, let me eat this, tighten up even more. Now I just got to go probably an extra day with me just grinding. And then treat myself to something that I usually would treat myself into. So I ain't going to have it that day and then the next day I'm treating myself to the usual. No, I got to burn that off. It ain't going to be much to burn off. That's why I get it. And I still get some protein out of it. And the sodium is good. So, yep, that's my go-to. I think it was the Carl's sweet. I think that's what it's called. Sweet and salty. I just know it's raisins, peanuts, like 3 things in there. Raisins, peanuts, and they got some the regular little M&Ms. Not the peanut M&Ms, but the regular M&Ms in it. And it hit the spot, y'all. It hit the spot big time. And that's what it's all about, because if we don't have no good replacements, like I say, it's all about being prepared. You know what I'm saying? Most of people's health and fitness goals is not being accomplished because they not being prepared. You got to be prepared. So anytime we feeling like it, we need to be able to reach for the healthy stuff. That's why I only grab that 1 pack of that sweet and salty trail mix thing or whatever, because it's something that can't sit around. Once that one serving was gone, that was it. It wasn't no other, I can go back into the bag. No, that was one serving. I was literally going like this with it. Ripped it open, went like this, several times, and it was gone. I felt good. Yep. So that's what that is. But yeah, that Gordon's fish, man. That's stuff, man. And it's chemicals in that stuff that be making us addicted to it. Cause once you really get going with your health journey, I'm talking about really lock in, you be good. But I noticed once you get to going back with that stuff, it's easy to slide right back into it because the stuff that's in that, it's chemicals that keep us hungry. Cause the whole food stuff, it's designed, the protein, the fiber, and stuff like that. It's designed to get you full quicker and keep you full. The other processed stuff is good. I tell people all the time, I never lie about that. The taste is amazing, but it will literally take your life away from you. Next thing you know, high blood pressure, diabetes. You got to take water pills. Your cholesterol. You ain't really getting nothing out of none of that. And the frozen, it's so much ultra processed foods in the markets. Like, I look at it, I'm like, damn, I grew up on just the average aisle I walk down, like the average person, just grabbing cereal, honeycombs, frosted flakes, Fruit Loops, variety pack of oatmeal, regular oatmeal, grits, biscuits. Come on now, them biscuits was, I would still eat biscuits to this day, but it would be like every blue moon, which when I say every blue moon, I can't even tell y'all the last time I ate biscuits. It was year before last, maybe early last year, and I ain't cook them. It was, matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, probably early last year, and I cooked them. Yeah, early last. So you talking about like a year? You talking about like a year ago? Yeah, because it's all bread. Bread don't do nothing to you. It don't break down or nothing. Just sitting, it's just collecting calories. But all the different meats, the breakfast sausages, that, the Polish sausages, the red hot sausages, the hot dog, beef hot dog. Couldn't tell me nothing. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I used to go through 3 of those with some chips on the side. Now I go in the market, I'm in and out, and I only eat about 3 to 5% of the stuff that's in the market. No lie. I really just I can believe it because I've been working out since I was 12 or 13. I just turned 46 February 7th. I can believe it, but it still seems like when I get in the market and I'm able to pick this stuff and I'm walking to the area to get my items, and I'm like, man, I used to get that. I used to get that. I like that. I'm walking past like a million different sauces. Now, don't get me wrong. When I go out to eat, that's when I'm able to tap into what's on a menu, and it might have this sauce or that sauce. But I'm looking at that as a reward, and I don't go out to eat like that. So I don't even really be feeling that like that. I just pretty much order what I want to order on that menu, and it's like a hell of a treat. But as far as the market, I can't tell you the last time I bought the barbecue sauce and the sweet and sour, the honey mustard. I would have to be out somewhere because I'm able to control it. So that's why I get it when I'm out, because I'm only getting that when I'm there. Once I get home, that's not even in the cabinets. So that's how I got my stuff balanced. Full control. So it's gonna look like I'm eating out like everybody else. But the thing about it, they eat like that more than likely at the house and when they eat out with no type of exercise or working out or nutrition habits. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing that because I'm there, and it's a reward for me staying focused. And now I got a craving for this. And then once I leave, I'm back to, you know what I'm saying, my healthiness. So, and then even then, the best way I balance that, I don't order no lemonade when I'm just out here. I would have to be out somewhere in another country. And the reason why I'm saying it like this, because you want to try stuff. If you visit another country, you want to try what they think and they tropical dish, and so you want to try. So I make room for that. But if I'm here, water. That's it. I'm already trying whatever this is with this sauce, and it might have some process in it more than likely, and this look good, but let me order. And the plate is gonna be balanced, don't get me wrong. But how I really balances is when they ask if I want something to drink, give me a water. I don't need sweet drink with processed stuff on the plate with some vegetables with, so I balance it overall with some water. And if I was to get something tropical, it'd have to be every blue moon as far as drink wise. A juice or a berry juice, knowing that there's a lot of sugar in it. So you got to make sure your system works for you and it's sustainable for you. So you just take bits and pieces from everybody, but that's what you got to do. And like I say, 9 out of 10 of the time, if you was on it and you thought you was on it, it failed or it didn't work because your system wasn't in place enough. You got to make sure even your most serious craving before it's time for you to treat yourself is taken care of. This off my yeah. Otherwise, you'll go outside of, instead of you only eat this twice a week, next thing you know, you have 4 times a week. Nah. You gotta know how to curb that craving. I'm just looking at this dude walking. Yeah, you gotta know how to curb that craving. Yep. But I ain't even lie, that sweet and salty mix tightened me right on up. And it only cost pretty much $1. I think it was like $120, maybe $139, $140. But it was worth it. It was worth it. Because I'm looking at the other options and it wasn't time for me to treat myself. I'm like, nah. Yep. But that's all. You got to make sure you locked and loaded on the Raphael. Because it's the same. The way you're going to have to do it is the same way all of us done it. Tighten up on your eating habits. That's what it boiled down to. Even if you wasn't moving around and working out, if you tighten up on your eating habits, don't forget our bodies burn like 12 to 1,500 calories just sitting on a couch. So just you having an off day, laying under the cover, just our eyes blinking, breathing, talking, when you laugh, you know what I'm saying? You move your arm and adjust the cover, all that's burning calories without you even having to get up and really be active. So just adjusting your eating habits and not doing nothing else, your body will change. It's just working out speeds everything up, plus tone you and sculpt you, you know what I'm saying? Sculpt it up for you. So it give you the aesthetics, give you the look too. So, but other than that, being prepared. I promise you, you lock and load on being more prepared, knowing what to reach for, your grapes or whatever your fruit is, your apple, you know what I'm saying? Your fruit choices need to be simple, which I say the simplest thing is bananas, apples, because you can get a nice amount of those, whether it's a bag of apples, a bundle of bananas, you know what I'm saying? Grapes, it's hard to come across seeded grapes, but they out here. But even if you just keep bananas and apple around, because apple is full of fiber, that stuff gonna have your system moving regular or more regular, and it's gonna have you feeling full, and it's gonna hit that sweet tooth. That's what be doing it for me too. That's another thing that's in my toolbox as far as my nutrition. The bananas. When I get my bananas, they ripe. They not green. That's because I eat my bananas every day. I eat 2 bananas a day, and that shit curve my sweet tooth. It curves my sweet tooth because it's sweet. Bananas are sweet. The green ones is not even ripe like that. And then that sweetness and that crunch of the apple, man, make me feel like I'm on top of the world. So get your stuff in place and figure out. I mean, you pretty much know what worked for you. We of age. You know what worked. You know some of your favorite stuff. Get your stuff in place and do what you do. And as long as it's way better than what you usually go for, you will drop down. You will lose that fat. You will lose that fat. Even the stuff that ain't supposed to be eaten by you. But as long as it's 50% better than the other garbage and you ain't eating it nowhere near as much, you still gonna win. Still gonna win. You just gotta go through the motions, man. Most of us just don't get to the period of to where that shit able to come off. You go like a week and then you collapse. 2 weeks collapse. A month, you person definitely supposed to see some results. Definitely supposed to see results. 2, 3 pounds. They say healthy weight is like 2 pounds a week, 1 or 2 pounds a week coming off. So all the other stuff, 15, 20 pounds losing a month, you talk about water weight is involved and stuff like that. You know, telling what else a person is taking, or they might not even be taking nothing. It's just that they got too much of a caloric deficit. Some of these people be out here killing themselves, man, trying to get to this. So they'll get to it, and you hearing about they lost 30 pounds in a month, 20 pounds in a month. I'm telling you, like, that is not healthy. It take a minute, just like it take a minute for you to put it on. It take a minute to come off if you want to do it healthy. But these people be on like 1,500 calorie intake. Well, it take 12 to 1,500 calories, with you not doing nothing for your body to function. The blood flow for your mind to be, for your eyes to stay woke and just alert. And you talk about 12 to 1,500 calories. So if you on only putting 12 to 1,500 calories in you, and it take that just for you not, even with you not doing nothing, you pretty much operating off nothing. And you wondering why you got damn headaches and shit. Nah. The best way to drop your calorie intake, and I read this, I heard it from different sources, is in between 5 to 700 calorie deficit, somewhere up in there. So whatever you've been doing, you just want to pull it back just enough. That might be a half a meal. It might be a actual whole meal. Just pull back about 500 to 700 calories. Because you still want to be getting in about 22, 2,700 calories, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? That way, you burning off the 5 to 700, but you still got that 12 to 15 that you need without you even doing that. These people out here doing, instead of the 25, 27 with a 500, 700 caloric deficit, they out here doing a 12 to 1,500 calorie intake. So they eating into what they shouldn't be eating into. You need the 12 and 15 to stay there. Whatever you put, you need that to stay there. And whatever else after that you can play with as far as you minusing from your calories. But these people, they be out here, I'm like, I knew a lady who was on a 500 calorie, and I think I said this on another line. She was on a 500 calorie intake. She looked like she ain't had no injury. I mean, I say no injury. She looked like she ain't have no energy. She looked like she ain't have no energy. Even when she was talking to me, like she was just like, it was an older lady. I'm like, yeah, you definitely didn't drop down, but you didn't drop down too quick. And it was just hanging, like her skin was just like real, it was just, I'm like, yeah, and I told her. So pretty much she was eating like a sandwich. Imagine, a sandwich. That wasn't even enough to supply her body with what it needed on a daily, because more than likely that sandwich was probably like 700 calories or less. She needed 12 to 1,500 just to break even. Adults need 22, it's like 22, 25, 27, but it's based on activity level. That's why you can't really put a number on it like that. But it's 2,000 plus calories a day, because 12 to 1,500 of those calories is calories that you need to keep in a reserve for your body to function on a regular for 24 hours each day. So you sitting on the couch watching TV, not doing nothing, just drinking tea. You need 12 to 1,500 calories for that 24 hours. Yep. So, but yeah. So yeah, just tighten up your eating habits and make sure you good. And then that example, like when I was in South Africa, Raphael, that's a good example of a mixture. That's pretty much how I do it on the regular, like 80% of the time. And I think I showed it like a few different ways. I just kind of changed the sides around. Baked potato, mashed potato, black beans, You know what I'm saying? Every blue moon I might switch to something like chili beans, but I just kind of stick with the black beans. Um, Especially if I'm doing it off the can, because the black beans ingredients in the can are just gonna be black beans are like water. You know what I'm saying? It's like two ingredients or something. But some of them got a little salt. But I usually go for the no salt black beans. But even if I get the salted one, it's cool. I just rinse half the inside out and leave the water, and then I flavor it just with a little season lightly. But yeah, yeah, that was a good example of when I was out the country. That's how I do it. Make sure your plates is colorful. You know, some green on your plate, some yellow, red, or however way. It just should be looking like a something tropical-ish on your plate. That'll let you know if you're getting a mixture of, what you should be getting. You ain't got to think too hard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have pineapples on your plate. Sometimes you might have bananas or on to the side. It don't have to be actually on the plate, but I'm just saying with your meal, because you want to eat that after your meal. That way you ain't waiting 2 hours later to cause another spike. You want to eat your meal and then eat whatever that fruit is, that dessert, right after that meal. Like right after you finish eating that last piece of carb or whatever, potatoes or beans or rice, your dessert, your fruit or whatever your dessert is, need to be coming right after. That way your body can go ahead and digest, process, and it can get to repairing itself. So but yeah, that's what it's about, man. Lock and loading into that nutrition, man. A lot of people can't do it. It's too hard. I know plenty of people that relapse when it comes to this nutrition stuff. People talk that game, but most people, they can't do it. Hold on, let me hear my mouth. Yeah, that's cool. It felt like my mouth was filming up. Y'all know how they go, like get white all on your. It just felt like it. It probably wasn't, but it just felt like. But yeah, most people can't do it. And people be talking that shit. Yeah, I'm doing this and they doing it. They be hype and I be cheering them on. But I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, hopefully you keep going, because that's the type of energy I put out. So I'm already thinking like, hopefully you keep going. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. But at the back of my mind, also, I'm also saying most people that's like this, because I done saw it too many times. I don't tell a person that or show them that energy. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, most people that's hyped up like this, who always talking about it, saying they just went to the gym, they done this, they on top of this, and showing that they eating all of what they eating like in front of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, most of them don't even make it. It's kind of like they be trying too hard, but I don't really want to say trying too hard, because I know they in their zone, they doing the best they can. They just don't make it. Versus a person who ain't really saying too much, and they might not even look like they doing too much, but this person getting it in. They just got their times when they do it, and they used to doing it. So you won't know unless you ask them, yeah, what's going on with you? Oh, I just left the gym. Yeah, what you yeah, I'm sore from yesterday. Like, it's a big difference. The energy just totally different. Versus, yeah, I've been in there and I was in there doing this, and I had the 80s, I had the 60s, and I was doing this. I'm getting way stronger. Like, that's a lot of that is beginner talk. Like, the average person who used to going in there and killing it, we just go in there and kill it. We we talking that stuff in our mind or to whoever we working out with in that moment. Other than that, it's just regular shit for us. We just go in there and kill a game. That's all we do. We go in there, take care of business, and then we gone. But I always wish everybody the best who, doing what they do. But it take a lot, because most of the time, once life really get that life in and really doing what it's doing, most people can't balance it. I'm talking about one.